Look at everything just working. I love it when everything just works. I see the broadcast over here. It's the perfect day. Are you having a perfect day? Have you checked in on that yet? Would you even know how to tell? How do you know you're having a perfect day? That's kind of an interesting question. The door just slammed all by itself, so clearly we have a poltergeist in the room with us, at the very least. Maybe a ghost. I don't know what happened here before I moved here. If you're new, hang on. And that's what you're going to want to do, is subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, already in the room, we've been visited by Michelle, who has already said that basically she's going to miss it because she scheduled an appointment. What? All right, so look, here's what I invite you to do. Obviously, like I said, I'd love you to subscribe. We are trying to build this channel into a force of entertainment nature. Your clicks will help, and your shares. You could share this to Facebook. You could tweet it, which that's what you do. Just tweet anything with hashtag Bob Doyle Show, and guess what? I'll be able to see it, and then I can share it on the screen, and then you will be just as famous as me, if not more. And isn't that the dream, the goal? Let's see if I can technically share some of your comments. Here we have Sarah saying good morning, and then of course we've got Irma with her howdy rowdies, which I liked that very much. And thank you. I like the backdrop too. This, you know what? This one just gives me. I wish it was video. I wish it was animated, but it just gives me a great sense of peace. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to this station, sure. If you're new to this station, the Bob Doyle Show station, well, first of all, welcome. I've already said subscribe a million times. I'd love you to like the video. I'd love to think that I've already got a vibe going with you. Like we've already got a deep, intimate, energetic relationship, which you can't explain. I don't think anybody here can. I sure can't. But today, ladies and gentlemen, as is indicated here, nope, sorry, Virtual Reality Thursday. What does that mean? Well, it means, first of all, that we clap for it, right? Steve is here. And Kaladi or Kaladi. I'd really like to, I'd love to know I was pronouncing that correctly. But here they all are. Oh boy, so many buttons to push, boys and girls. Here they all are. So, like I said, Virtual Reality Thursday. So what we have traditionally done with Virtual Reality Thursday is I will actually broadcast live from within virtual reality. I'll make myself some sort of crazy computer-generated avatar in a program like Flipside or Mindshow, and we'll just have a lot of fun. But you know, here's the deal. Over here on the YouTube station, even though I can still get much better at it, I feel like I need to tighten things up just a little. And there's so much margin for error when I'm doing it live in VR. Now, I'm not saying I'm never going to do it again. I just want to get into a new system. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to share some sounds of bells going off over and over. Most of the time you don't hear those, and I hear them, and I end up looking like a crazy person. But that's okay. That's kind of part of my job. So what we're going to do today is, yesterday I just got into a few games. There's really no connection between them at all. They're just randomly chosen, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through them. Because look, I know if any of you are into this, came to this channel or this particular video because you saw those things mentioned, and you're a VR gamer, you know, you're just interested to see what is this guy maybe going to say about this. It's going to be a really basic thing. One of the things I want to do in this channel, especially on VR Thursday, is do some crossover. I would love to interview some of the VR YouTubers, and because they're much better at it than I am in terms of the VR stuff, way better. And they got an interesting, you know, they just got interesting opinions, and there's some really great YouTube success stories too, and I just like to highlight that, since obviously that's what we're doing here right now. So again, that's just part of how we're seeing the show grow. If you'd like to be a part of the growth, you can join us over on Discord at bobdoyleshow.com/Discord. Maybe Don would type that into the live chat here. Please, by all means, participate in the chat. If you watch it right now, you'll see that we are such a family here. We're just, this is all textual hugs. That's what this is, hugging right now. Right? Okay, I'm going to take a sip of coffee because clearly I need it. Third cup, probably not a great idea. Crystal's with us too, and Kathy and Sarah and Loretta. Rockin' Raven, and as mentioned, Steve, right up there at the top of the list. So we're going to get into that, but so the VR stuff, sorry, I jumped the rails a little bit. That never happens on the show. If you're new, don't worry. I never, ever get off track. That was a one-time deal. Don't forget, you guys, do this just because it's fun. I just want to see somebody tweet. Just say, you know, I'm listening to the great, whatever you can say in 140 characters that will make people drop what they're doing and jump over here, but just hashtag it Bob Doyle Show, and then I'll share it over here. Okay, all right, this is a major sidetrack and we're going to do it, but then we'll get right into the VR stuff, okay, I promise. This Lanni versus Laurel thing, so now, see, oh, good. I'm so glad you brought that up, because now we put these into the keyword and descriptions. It's trending. We're going to get all over. It's going to be crazy, but people are going to be mad that it took this long to get to it. That is the most amazing. Now, I've seen the sneakers. I've seen the dress. I think there's times when I've seen them both, depending on whatever. But that Lanni Laurel thing is insane. I don't have it prepared here to share. But, you know, it's very easy for you to find. And where do you fall? Where do you fall? What did you guys hear? Let's see. Oh, right? Steve heard Laurel. See, no way. I did not. It was Lanni. Crystal heard Laurel. What's going on here? Crystal heard Laurel. Sarah heard you. Really? It was Lanni, no question. It was like, well, who's hearing Laurel? But then Lynn actually sent me a link to a site where it had a slider and you could change the frequencies so that you could move. So basically, it's a frequency thing. It's what you're tuning into, or what you most naturally tune into, because I got it where it was like, no matter what I did, I heard it Lanni. But then as I slowly moved the slider, and it made the subtle differences, at one point on the Laurel half, it clicked in. And then I could listen all the way back down the spectrum again, where I only heard Lanni and hear Laurel the whole time. It's crazy. Am I right? And look, I know some of you were mentioning yesterday, hey Dan, that we miss the hearts, we miss the feedback mechanism, and I am in agreement. And I'm telling you, I think I got a great idea for a live stream app. And that is, you know, a third-party place where it's somehow tied into the show, and it would generate a screen of hearts or something that I could just grab. There's got to be a way to do this. It just may take some programming, but that would be, if I did that. Okay, so nobody don't share this video. It's too good of an idea. Because if something like were to generate hearts on a green screen, I could bring that in, and I could have running hearts or whatever. And as long as I'm doing it, I may as well do my own Bob Doyle show one, right, with my own head that comes up. Okay. Virtual reality. Does anybody even care about it? Because it is Virtual Reality Thursday. So again, what I'm going to show you, I actually have 4 things. I only listed 3 in the description. I may change it after we go live. And I've recorded way more minutes of each of them than I'm possibly going to show you, so I might skip around a little bit. And I'm going to tell you that one of these games, and they're not all games really. In fact, there's really only one full-on game, and I'll show it to you first. But here's my disclaimer. Now, you know, my show, we just, like I said, it's all hugs, right? It's all just, we're hugging right now. We're not shooting arrows at each other. So all the stuff that I share on Facebook traditionally, but on the VR thing, it's always feel good, whatever, right? I never do any games where there's shooting or whatever, but I'm sorry. This one, look, it's not bloody, so just relax. But you are shooting arrows. But it's so far away and it's so dark, I promise you, you won't get disturbed. If you do, just, you know, the only thing that's a little bit disconcerting is when an arrow is shot in their face. The sound, you know. But look, I promise you, I would not subject you to a barf fest. I would not do that, okay? So, and I won't do it very long. We'll focus on the other ones, but I just want to show you because this is really cool, and I never would have thought that this would have been a game for me. So let me just, so what I've done is on the game, on the recording, I don't say a word. I'm just going to narrate here. Okay, so it may be a little clunky. I just kind of walk you through what I like about it. Okay, and again, if you guys are hardcore gamers and you've seen full-on reviews for this, this is not going to dazzle you. You might stick around just to mock me. That'd be all right too. Just do it in a loving, friendly way. You know, we can mock one another without hurting each other's feelings, right? I mock myself constantly. This whole show is a mocking of me, perpetrated by me. All right. So this first one is called In Death, and it's an archery game, right? Like I said, there's several ways that you move around in this game. You can kind of move along with the trackpad by sliding your thumb on it. You can, there's a little crystal shard thing that you'll see me hold a lot that you can toss, and wherever it lands, you'll teleport to. Or there's an arrow, a special kind of arrow that you can pull that acts as a teleporter. All right, so that all the castle and all that stuff that generated in the background back there is what they call procedurally generated, which means that it's different every time you play the game. So it's interesting. The idea here really is to kill as many people as possible and rack up on the leaderboards, get a high score. I don't do it that way because it's just too stressful for me to try to do that. I just like the stealth aspects of this game that I can, if you choose to, you can really take your time and stay way back from the action. It does get a little bit more difficult to do that. So now I'm so far away from the target at this point that it's hard for you to even see that there is an enemy, although there's one running up the way, a knight, and these guys, you don't want to get too close to them. But believe me, the action does get closer. Is this interesting to anyone? All right, Sarah, Don says the graphics are way cool. And again, the game is In Death, and I've got links to all these games in the description of this video. And don't forget to subscribe. So I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit here because, like I said, I just played it in real time. So this is me a little bit closer, obviously. And now I've kind of cleared the way, but I'm about to turn around the corner. Now remember, of course, this is VR. So you have to imagine that I'm in this place, right? I mean, I know that goes without saying for a lot of you, but all right, so right around the corner, there were others lurking. There's another knight. There's some zombies, and they're coming at me. Now, I normally do not get even hit with an arrow this early in the game, but I was being a little lazy playing this, knowing I was recording, just trying not to die. So you'll see that what generated there was health. If I could go get it, I could get some of my health back. But I start shooting at the others out here in this little courtyard, and they start coming after me. So now I start to sort of retreat, and now I'm tossing that teleportation shard, see? So I'm just tossing that along so I can now get back. So I haven't really progressed too far. Now what happens now is over there at that place where I'm aiming now, there's other enemies, and they start shooting at me while I'm focused over here. So I get shot a few times because, like I say, I'm lazy. I would be way more evasive normally. But I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit more. And the music in the background is this sort of choral music. It adds a really, really cool tone to the whole thing. Let's see, Legolas, what's that? I don't know what that means. Reminds me of the Hunger Games. All right, so we just missed a close encounter there, I think. Now, see, I scooted myself all the way back. Now, along the way in the game, there's if I did not progress as far to do this, but there's places that you can go to upgrade your arrows, get different kinds of arrows that shoot like flames and stuff like that. But I just have to tell you that for someone who, I wouldn't have thought that an archery game would be this mesmerizing for me. I have spent sometimes upwards of 90 minutes in a session on this thing. Because it's just so, because when you do it, when you play stealth like that and you don't, rush right in. Now, if the people who do the high scores, they rush right in and they just, I mean, watching videos of it, it's like, okay, no, thank you. That's too much. But anyway, so I think you get the idea on that. That is just a really cool one. And again, it's called In Death, and there is a link in the description to where you could get it. I know that probably none of you have a VR system if you're my regular viewers, but if you are, again, a VR user, you can say, wow, that was the worst walkthrough of that game I've ever seen. You could put that in the comments if you'd like, and I'll reply to it. Okay, so shall we go to the next one? Which one shall it be? So let's go, we're going to go to another one that I have shown before live, whether you've seen it or not, I do not know. I did a whole video by itself in this one scenario, but the program is called Nature Treks, and I use it for, it's a great like just meditative spaces. There's all these different environments that you can choose from, all sorts of nature environments, under the water environments, even in space environments. The one I'm going to show you here is the dinosaur environment. Now you can use these little orbs to add things to the environment. So like, for example, if I grab this rock orb and throw it, a rock will grow, right? If I throw a tree will grow. Now I don't spend too much time doing that here, but I just wanted to demonstrate that it could be done. You can make it be sundown, and you can actually grab a weather orb and have it rain. Okay, so I was just demonstrating that for you in general. And this also has a really nice music soundtrack, which I accidentally turned off there, not meaning to. I was just trying to turn off those orbs. But again, in this one, you've got several different ways that you can move around. You can kind of pull the trigger and just sort of almost like glide along. There is an option where you can actually use your arms and swing your arms to simulate walking, so it feels a little bit more realistic in terms of pace, so you're not just like flying along. And I use that sometimes when I want to get real close up to a creature or whatever, as we will see. And then there's teleporting to go long distances in a quick amount of time. So I'm just going to go around and find... Remember, this is a recording of something I did yesterday when I was actually in VR. So as I'm experiencing this, that Stegosaurus, right, it's right there, right? And it's full size and the whole thing. So, of course, it looks like a computer model, but it's not terrible, right? You still get the sense of, hey, there's a dinosaur right there. My brain can, sure, I'll lock onto that. So now I'm going to go back over here into the water. Now I do want to at least, because when I did this before on the other video, there's certain barriers where you're not technically supposed to be able to cross. It's like, you can explore all of this area and go see these dinosaurs, but this is the barrier of this particular map, if you will, and you can't go past it. But I've broken through where I wasn't supposed to at a point, and I did it again, and I'll show you, and I think it's coming up. This is a great one. I think I was doing the running beside it, and it just adds to that immersive feeling of like you're really there and you're really there, really propelling yourself. And nothing can happen to you, the dinosaurs don't attack you or anything like that. So it's all just pure relaxation. And I've shown also the one that's underwater, unbelievably relaxing. I've got entire other videos on this. So now, off in the distance there, well, first we see a few raptors. We'll running with the raptors. And now I'm going to try and break through to get up to the T-Rex, because you're not supposed to be able to do that. Do you have to watch for Dino Poo? I have not yet run into Dino Poo. Hey. So it can even be relaxing to walk among a T-Rex. Now, he did put the growl in there, which, I think we all know they probably did not growl. Look at that, just swung right over my head. Unfortunately, there's really just no way for the experience to translate when you watch, a two-dimensional video. I wish there were, but there's not. So until everybody can get one of these. Now, I will say, with the Windows Mixed Reality hardware that came out, it's about $300 or so. It's a lot more affordable for people to do this kind of thing than it was when I first got into it with the HTC Vive. All right, shall we continue? So these next two are called, I guess I'm going to go to this one. Now, this one's called Throttle Power. It's more of a demo, really, than a game, although there is a multiplayer element to it, which got triggered during this recording, which I didn't mean to, but so you'll see like arrows pointing various ways, and that's telling me, hey, go join the game, and I'm not going to join the game. I'm just going to show you around. But in terms of a demo, this is one of the most, the premise is in each of your hands you have like a motorcycle wheel, and you pull the throttle and you just go, right? And you steer like this, and the terrain is all over the place, as you'll see. Now, if you're a person who gets motion sickness, this would be a terrible game for you, right? And it may even make you a little bit spinny when you see it on here. I know a lot of VR does, even if it's not purposely trying to do it, because it's just hey, I'm doing something here. people. All right, but this was just one of my favorite recreational go-tos. There's an orange ball that you'll see in a second, and I just like to bump the ball around with the wheel and then chase it around, which I kind of do that. But see if you can get a sense of what this might feel like. Now check this out. We're just about to, if you bang the wheels down, it reacts properly as physics do, and it sort of tosses you. It's like you're jumping. Now again, as you might imagine, this is really, whoa, and there's actually, when you hear that little pew, 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 that's a boost, so that if I'm going up a hill and I need more boost or more power to propel myself, I can do that. But you only have 5 of them, so you'll see the number go down from 5 to 0. It's 3. That means I have 3 boosts right here. Do you think that dragons existed at the time of dinosaurs? I have never given that thought, Crystal. But now we all will. So, again, just try to imagine you're holding these things and you're being flung around like this. Now, there's so much more to this particular game that I didn't show you. So many different scenarios you can go into. And here I just fall to my demise. Now this is the beginning of what is really truly for me just the most fun recreational thing. I just bump this ball around and then chase it. Because the physics of the ball are weird anyway. It spins in impossible ways. So it just becomes a game of chase, and where I want to just use the wheels as a bat, you know, to just keep it in motion and go chase it. It seems silly, but maybe you can get how fun this would be by looking at this. Look, countless amounts of time have been lost just chasing this ball around. And you know what? I'm not apologetic for it. So apparently, they're coming out with a new version of this soon. I just saw that an update was coming. I don't know what to expect, but I'm very excited about it. And you know you'll get updated here. So we've got some, oh my god, how fun and whoa crazy, so that's good. So I'm not boring you to tears here. I hope I'm not. Now guys, before I show you this last one, which is called Blortasia, and it was one of the ones I got very, very early on, and I honestly can't remember if I've shared it or not. Let me just go back to the Discord channel for a second. And the whole purpose of what we're doing here is and don't forget to, you know, tweet. Did anybody tweet? Hold on. I'm scrolling. You guys, do none of you tweet? Is that what's happening here? You tweet? All right. We really invite you to join the Discord channel. There's a Discord link in the description here, and that's where we're just kind of hanging out and building the show. So again, if you're new here, please subscribe, and oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you're new here, please subscribe and click the bell so you'll get notified as we do new things. But we're in the process of growing this channel. It's been hadn't had a lot of attention. We lived over at Facebook for quite a while, and now we're here, and we're doing everything we can to get the word out. So we'd love your subscription and your shares and your comments and all the things that help us. And if you're confused by this, that's okay. You can watch the playlist of the Bob Doyle Show and just kind of mix and match and see what you think. We're kind of all over the place, but we hope it's in a fun way, and we're trying to pull it together a little bit for the sake of YouTube and having respect for your YouTube viewing hours. By the way, yesterday, if you saw the Q&A yesterday, and I was sitting there begging for questions while you were furiously sending them, I apologize. This is a very different way of reading comments, and I'm clearly going to have to get better at it. We're talking about getting a moderator. Speaking of that, let me finish my thought about Discord. I'm actually exploring how, you know, what is necessary to make the show what I envision it to be. And there's a lot of things between here and there. And a lot of it is people and roles to get things done so that we can quickly do this. So it's not just me doing everything. Now, this is a community-based show, so the idea is that everybody benefits from their contribution in some way. That's you know, whether it's just because you just love doing it or that there actually is some sort of a benefit, tangible benefit that we can get. But my goal here is that the show is self-sustaining, which means I'm not putting money out of pocket to make it happen. You know, at least as little as possible, because I believe that can be done, And I want to show people that too. Because I believe that growing this channel can be an organic thing that just takes a lot of enthusiastic people sharing, their favorite stuff. We've got a lot to do. We're going to create trailers. We're going to, try and condense in a short amount of time what this show is so that people can get it. Because, tuning in at any one time, this isn't a typical YouTube video. YouTube videos are fast, this, that, that kind of stuff, or they're edited. This is a different thing. And so we kind of have to, get people educated, I guess. So the point is, in the Discord channel, there's a channel in there, or a thread, called something. Hold on. I've got it right here. I did load Discord on here. Progress report. And at the top of that, there's a whole thing about, this is what I'm looking for in terms of equipment and personnel. Maybe you, that's right, gentle listener, viewer, maybe you fit that bill. Maybe you'd like to be a part of what this show is hopefully going to become. And I know I have to get that in video form so that it can be communicated to people. But in essence, it's an entertainment show that was eventually going to be driven by community and community contributed content. So stuff that I do and stuff that the community does, and we want it to grow that way and expose people's creativity in this really fun, wacky environment where you just never know what's going to happen. So, subscribe. What do you got to lose? Okay. Except precious, precious hours of your life. All right, this is Blortasia. This is just trippy, and that's all it is. It's basically art. And everything you're going to see here, the colors and the textures, they're in motion. It's fluid, okay? And basically, you'll see what this is. It's this totally surreal series of tubes that you fly around in, and that music is playing. The controllers fly you around, and I just briefly at the beginning there was turning off certain things, just getting my settings for how I like to do it. Now again, imagine yourself floating around in here, and you're surrounded by this, and at anything you go up to and stare at is this truly slow, trippy kind of, you know what I'm saying. I'm just reading your comments now, taking this opportunity. Raven, in terms of Twitter, I'm just saying you just go to Twitter and tweet, like, old school, not even necessarily from here. Although it seems like I think there's a Twitter share, but on YouTube. But anyway, so this again, obviously, is just this wildly relaxing. The music is great with it. Do we just enjoy it? That's insane, right? Because you got this whole Superman feeling going on, although it's slow and controlled. And the great thing about having that speed variability is that you can come right up on something that's little and floating, which I'm sure I'm going to do here shortly because I do it all the time. Just come down, slow down, and then just sort of hover. It's just kind of this, because you disconnect from the fact that you're doing it with your fingers. It's more like I'm intending to float over here, and your fingers do it subconsciously, and you just get this sensation that you're just this disconnected sort of entity floating around at will to wherever, and you're seeing this and hearing this. It's even relaxing watching it in 2D, right? I hope. So what do we got here? Colorado would love this. Crystal, yeah, me either, Sarah. What? Me either. This is seriously calming, therapeutic, looks like mushroom trip. Yeah. I was thinking that too. Oh, okay, I see what's going on, yeah. Maybe I'll just end the show with this. No, I can't do that. I gotta do my thing. I mean, this is the last thing I'm gonna do. Let's see how the music goes with that one. Not that great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we did it again. Now will you subscribe and click the bell? I think that would be a swell thing to do. You'll feel great about yourself. You get a good night's sleep. You'll know you did something kind for someone. And, join us in the Discord or leave a comment. Leave a comment, do something. Just a comment. And then I'll respond to your comment and we'll be best friends from now on.